Derrick can tell you a little bit about kohlrabi.
Yeah, kohlrabi. So really interesting enough. Actually, kohl means cabbage in German. Rabi means turnip. So it's the perfect hybrid of cabbage and turnip. It's actually the swollen stem of a cabbage.
Really?
In the cruciferous family, which is a lot of dark leafy greens, you'll find the brassicas, which is the cabbage group of plants. So that's broccoli, cauliflower, collards, kale, cabbage, and kohlrabi. So anything that you can use cabbage for, you can use with kohlrabi.
Awesome.
So today we'll be demonstrating fermented cabbage or fermented kohlrabi, traditionally maybe called sauerkraut, or in the Far East, kimchi.
Yep.
So kimchi is a little more advanced than the sauerkraut with additions of chili peppers and daikon radishes and things like that. But basically, starting with the leaves here, which is the most cabbage-like, chopping it up in ribbons.
So you're utilizing every last bit of the vegetable.
Yeah.
You're not throwing any of this away.
That's correct.
Like all of these odds and ends right here,
They're going into the
something
next
with.
stock. Yeah, that's the thing, with the bottoms of your celery, the carrot peels, carrot tops, anything like that. Just throwing it in water and bringing it up to a boil, you're going to have a flavorful liquid, and there's no waste at that point. In our kitchens, there's no waste anyway because we have a very large compost pile in our garden. We'll take care of about 150 to 250 pounds of food scraps on a daily basis. So
wow,
turns into about 1.5 tons of compost every year.
That's always good as a farmer or gardener.
In the food service industry, we're guilty of a lot of food waste.
Oh, totally.
So bringing it back into and making soil out of it, we'll be in a lot better shape.
Derrick's chopping up his kohlrabi here, and he'll tell you a little bit about the lacto-fermented Kohlrabi.
Yeah, this is a unique technique.
Yeah, so I started with the leaves first of the kohlrabi because it's most all to the cabbage. And all it really takes is a little bit of salt to start to break down those cell walls, and we're going to extract some moisture, as much moisture as we possibly can from the actual leaves themselves. And it just takes a little bit of muddling.
Like a cocktail.
Correct, yeah, and we're actually, as much as the salt is extracting water, we're going to actually break cell walls to extract water as well. And it just takes a little bit of a start. You'll start to notice moisture start to build up on the sides. And then we could just add, these are julienne kohlrabis here, and we're going to continue to muddle, and little additions of salt as we go. We don't want to add too much salt at one time because we will end up making an over-salty kind of solution at the end. So muddling it, like I said, eventually we want the water content, we want to see it on the edge of the jar here. Ideally, if you can get the water above the actual cabbage or the kohlrabi itself, you're in great shape, and fermentation is going to happen a lot more rapidly. We can add a little bit of water and a little bit more salt at the end if the water content isn't that high, and we'll still get fermentation. It just may take a little bit longer.
Great.
But Doctor, if you'd like to muddle that.
All right, you want me to be adding this as we go?
Yes, correct, and just a pinch of salt every time you add.
And can you explain what lacto-fermentation means?
So lacto-fermentation, so after a few days here is the final product. Lacto-fermentation, so lactobacilli, a real big workhorse as far as probiotics. Probiotics is a big buzzword nowadays in the health realm. So probiotics, really just microorganisms inside the gut that enhance digestion. So lactobacilli, because it's worked hand in hand with our guts, with our systems throughout generations, we actually are cultivating from the wild lactobacilli. So big difference, and I'll show you a little pickling method later on. Pickling and lacto-fermentating, very similar. Pickling, we're creating an acidic environment with vinegar. It doesn't allow anything else to live, so we can preserve food in a way. With lacto-fermentation, we can create that acidic environment and only have lactobacilli live, also creating that preservation method, but a probiotic at the same time. So
Really
a very
cool.
traditional method of preserving food.
Right, especially for those who don't eat dairy and don't want to eat yogurt. This is such a great option.
Well, in Pennsylvania, we're really lucky. We actually are able to sell raw milk in this area, which is filled with lactobacilli.
It's true.
Raw milk, something that most states in the country outlaw. So if you're from this area,
Great.
partake.